Hi everybody, and welcome to my monthly Vietnam update. The month of August was anything but boring, having many highlights. A full lockdown in Ho Chi Minh City, which erased all previous gains for the month in the stock market. A visit from the US Vice President to Hanoi. And a very volatile stock market, which ended up plus 1.6% for the month. The real highlight, however, especially for our investors, is the certainly tremendous outperformance of the AFC Vietnam Fund this month and for the year. Almost all sectors we invested in saw strong interests, and according to internal estimates, the NAV was up 8.5% in August, and year to date 2021 we were even up plus 42.5%. versus an index gain of 20.6%. Hi, my name is Andreas Vogelsangler. I'm the CEO of the AFC Vietnam Fund. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and switch on the notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. Okay, what else happened in Vietnam? Obviously, continued problems containing the latest COVID-19 wave, especially in Ho Chi Minh, led to a very volatile month in the stock market. Early into the month, the sentiment was very positive, despite surging COVID-19 cases, until the government announced a strict stay-at-home order on the 23rd of August for Ho Chi Minh City. This led the index to plunge 3.3% in a single day, and with record volume of around 1.7 billion US dollar. 100,000 soldiers were deployed to ensure the logistics of giving out free food to the city's inhabitants and controlling the lockdown. Currently, the government seems to play for time in order to overcome the difficult next few months, as multiple solutions to the vaccine shortage lie around the corner. Not only are increasing deliveries of vaccines from various sources arriving, but also approval for mass productions of Vietnam's own developed vaccine could be imminent as well. Here you see a picture of the US Vice President Kamala Harris. She was visiting recently Vietnam, and she was talking about the rising tensions in the South China Sea with China's excessive maritime claims. But she also had long talks with Vietnam in areas of collaboration, in areas like such as climate change, trade, and of course the coronavirus pandemic. Her first trip to Asia brought her to Singapore and Vietnam. And this shows a little bit how Vietnam shows growing importance to the US, both politically and strong geopolitical counterpoints to China, and economically, which was also shown with her signing an agreement to lease lands in Hanoi to build a new US embassy for 1.2 billion US dollar. On the same day of her arrival in Hanoi, Pfizer and BioNTech entered into an agreement with the Ministry of Health of Vietnam to provide an additional 20 million doses to their vaccines to the country. This brings the total number of doses to 51 million, which should be delivered this year. And additionally, 1 million doses of Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine arrived at the same day as a gift to the country with Kamala Harris. So Vietnam is still behind the curve for providing vaccines. You can see that with that chart. Malaysia is far ahead. But it's strongly believed that the government of Vietnam and its efforts and execution skills, the trajectory of the coming months will follow more of the Malaysian curve than the one of Thailand. This is why one should not focus too much on the current disruption to the economy, but rather look that into the strong recovery in 2022 with tailwinds for listed companies' reported earnings. So the country is also speeding up its vaccine program, and according to the Ministry of Health, around 17% of the total population already got their first dose. But there is still a lack of vaccine supply, but Vietnam already ordered more than 100 million doses from many suppliers, including Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Sinopharm, and Sputnik 5. However, the nation also has to line up behind other countries. And very early into the pandemic, Vietnam was developing its own vaccine candidates. And it seems that this should bear fruits. And in the coming months, we will see more news in terms of the testings. Currently, Vietnam has or is testing 3 vaccines: Nanocovax, ARCT-154, and Covivac. But Nanocovax is probably the most promising and is already in the late phase 3 of clinical trials. According to Nanopharmaceutical Biotechnology, the producer of Nanocovax, and the Ministry of Health, the phase 3A was tested on 1,000 volunteers, and the result was very positive with 99.2% effectiveness. And also the costs of this vaccine is around $5 per dose. So it seems to be quite competitive. But Nanocovax will be tested for final phase 3C up to 1 million volunteers, and after that successful phase 3C, Nanovax should be approved immediately by the Ministry of Health of Vietnam. According to the company, the current production capacity is around 12 million doses per day, 12 million doses per month, but it will increase that to around 30 to 50 million doses per month as early as September. And Mr. Van Truan, the Vice Minister of the Health Department of Vietnam, said that we expect Vietnam can produce enough vaccines for the whole country by the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022, the latest. If Vietnam can really achieve this goal, domestic demand could recover strongly in 2022, with local and probably also international tourism seeing a tremendous recovery. So let's talk a little bit about the currency of the Vietnamese dong, which is another very positive news. I mean, it's gaining in strength, and Vietnam now the Vietnamese dong is one of the small group of currencies which outperformed the US dollar this year, as you can see from this chart. Other positive news came from the broader market, where small caps were making new all-time high. With our portfolio concentrating on undervalued stocks in all categories, from small to mid, and also a little bit in the large cap segment, we are proud of the tremendous outperformance we have achieved this year. Despite all the current COVID-19 related problems and lower than possible economic earnings growth, the market's trailing price earnings ratio is only around 16 times. And on our estimates, based on next year's growth, the P should come down to around 14 times. Even lower than the valuation of our portfolio, which is currently trading 11 times trailing earnings and around 9 times 12 months forward estimates earnings. So extremely attractive valuation of our portfolio, I would argue. So what happened? What else happened in the market? Obviously, port stocks started to boom, and this followed after a boom in shipping stocks, At the time when shipping fees skyrocketed, port stocks also jumped aggressively. We have obviously mentioned that many times in our previous reports, but the main beneficiary, obviously, of the Vietnamese export boom in a controlled, competitive environment are obviously port stocks. And the port business in Vietnam will also continue to benefit in the second half of 2021 with strong increase in demand in many developed countries such as the US, Europe, or the UK. But meanwhile, the virus outbreak in Asia, in Asian countries, continue to have a negative impact on sea freight cargo and handling efficiency, which created a supply and demand imbalance, has therefore led to a dramatic increase in shipping fees, as you can see from this chart. In Vietnam, shipping fees also increased sharply, but port fees remained almost unchanged in the first half of 2021. But since July 2021, most ports in Vietnam started to increase their fees due to strong demand and limited capacity. And the COVID-19 outbreak in Vietnam has lengthened the loading and unloading times for an average of 5 to 8 days. And most of the ports therefore started increasing their fees. If you look at the shipping companies, they already benefited from the increase in shipping fees, and they are willing to pay a higher fee for ports in order to get a priority handling, shorten obviously that time of landing or of loading or unloading. And we therefore expect that the profits of these port companies will increase strongly in the second half of 2021 and 2022. One of our position is TVP, which is Dinh Vu Port, and which also benefited by this trend, and the stock price of TVP jumped around 27% since the end of May 2021. If you look at, this is the chart of TVP, but also if you look at the valuation of this company, even after the surge in stock price, the valuation is still very attractive. The stock is trading at a PE of 9.5 times with a price book of 1.8 times. And TVP is therefore one of the most undervalued port stocks in Vietnam. It has actually a cash balance of $44 million US, which is equivalent to around 45% of its market cap. So very, very cash-rich company. And taking this cash balance into account, the PE is only trading at around 6.1 times. So well, this is all from me. Thank you for listening, and you will hear from me again next month with the next update. Thank you and goodbye.